at 7 Wednesday headlines, courtesy of Heart NSDA Trust, Jamaica's Human Development Agency.
Tonight in CVM News at 7, education sector faces uneven recovery following Hurricane Melissa. More dark days ahead. Black River resident recounts Melissa's blow. KSA-MC Disaster Relief Unit launches coordinated drive to aid vulnerable in 6 parishes. 10 mobile gas stations deployed to areas hardest hit. And later on in sports, Reggae Boys in Port of Spain for vital FIFA World Cup qualifier against TNT.
CVM News at 7 Wednesday headlines, courtesy of Heart NSDA Trust, Jamaica's Human Development Agency.
Hey everybody, I'm Yendi, and this is Odyssey with Yendi. In this space, we connect with some of your favorite people as they share their journeys. Here we have some unfiltered conversations as we deep dive into their inspirations, motivations, and experiences to inspire our own life journey.
From Kingston, Jamaica, this is CVM News at 7. It's Wednesday, November 12, 2025. I'm Nika Lewis. Thanks for having joined us. The Jamaica Public Service Company, JPS, says it has restored electricity to roughly 300,000 Jamaicans, and that's 64% of its customer base in the aftermath of Hurricane Melissa. But that 300,000 doesn't include residents in Black River, who now say they've grown used to the dark after losing so much more to Melissa. Amoy Harriet met one resident who shared her story.
In the 1800s, Black River in St. Elizabeth made history as the first town in Jamaica to get electricity. Now, more than a century later, in the wake of Hurricane Melissa, it seems Black River may be one of the last to get it back. Scenes like these line every street, downed utility poles, sagging wires, and frustration from residents hanging just as heavy. Andrea Montague lives here. The darkness no longer faces her, as she says power is the least of her worries now that her family is without a home.
So Beryl took the house roof, well, part of it first. And then I had my business in here. I was running a bar. We turned it into a house. And then Melissa came and she took the shop top and the rest of the house. Everything got destroyed. Furniture, clothes, appliances.
This Nissan Tida motorcar was her family's saving grace. 7 of them were packed inside while the storm was passing.
It felt like a movie, to be honest. It felt like I was in a movie. The car, at one point in time, I saw the car was going to flip. We went into the scheme, into Newtown, trying to get to my sister's house, only to hear before the phones got locked off that her roof went as well. So on our way getting to her house, we had to stop because poles were in the road, trees were in the road. My sons tried their best to get the debris out of the road so we could actually get into the scheme. But before reaching to her house, we couldn't reach any further. We had to park against a wall. A lady by the name of Mrs. Wedderburn's house. We had to park at her wall. And there was a tree in her yard and it was literally beating the car. Zinc was in between the wall and the car. The zinc was over here holding the car doors together. It was just like the car was getting a beating. At one point in time I saw I was in Final Destination. Zinc coming left, zinc coming right, zinc coming forward. I don't know.
Her roots now completely uprooted.
This house is coming from my grandfather. Like my grandfather bought this house. My mom and my aunts and my uncles grew up here. You know, so I grew up here. So it's very, how should I put it? It's amazing that I'm not going crazy.
It's for this reason, Andrea tells us, she turns to alcohol in order to cope.
It's the best medicine right now.
What do you mean by that?
Keeps me calm and happy. No, it don't. All right. On a serious note, let me see if Mama can describe it. You see, if you're supposed to think about everything, my stress level going to go up there. And my blood pressure going to go up there. Black if I don't have no hospital. You know, fireman live there. No, can't deal with that stress right now. So I take a little sip now and then.
Amoy Harriet for CVM News.
Energy Minister Darrell Vaz toured Johnson's Petroleum headquarters to inspect the deployment of 10 mobile gas stations aimed at providing fuel relief to parishes affected by Hurricane Melissa. The ministry's latest initiative is designed to provide more help for persons in the most severely affected areas. With more, here's Crystal Williams.
Minister of Energy Darrell Vaz says the main intention of these mobile gas stations is to provide access by cutting down the distances people who need it would have to travel to get petrol. He says marine fuel will also be deployed to fishing beaches in the west.
So, in my discussions with the Ministry of Agriculture Fisheries Department, Great Bay, Black River, Scotts Cove, Belmont, the Grill, and White House, these areas, despite the fact that they have gotten significant damage to their boats and their engines, they still are in need of marine fuel.
He implored the owner of Johnson's Petroleum personally.
I'm going to ask Mr. Johnson to specifically target the western parishes for now, until such time as normality returns. And then you can obviously spread out into your original plan.
Michael Taylor, Chief Technical Engineer at Johnson's Petroleum, gave a rundown of the revolutionary mobile gas stations providing fuel to hardest affected areas.
That one over there is roughly about 100 liters. This one here is a double compartment. Right, it is 200 liters, and this one here is 2 compartment holding as much as about I think it's 1,500, 1,000 liters.
He says units are being made available to return the tourism and health industries, specifically in western parishes, to normalcy.
We were at a juncture where in which we wanted to be of assistance as well to the people who have suffered severely in the western parishes.
Crystal Williams, CVM News.
There will be a collective sigh of relief after our next story, as numerous viewers wanted to know the status of a St. Anne senior who, up to hours before Hurricane Melissa hit Jamaica, was insistent on staying home alone. That update now from Curlin Brown, thanks to the Sergeant of Police, with whom the story began.
While tracking Melissa on the streets of Oteria, St. Anne, a police siren became a point of interest, which led the crew to the community of Harrisontown in the parish. We caught up with a team led by Sergeant Christopher Ward, who was on a mission to reach a senior living alone atop a hill. The neighbors on the flat, including an 8-year-old girl who says she often goes to visit, were very concerned. Naturally, we took the climb with the officers, unprepared for what we were about to see.
You must have seen several storms already, don't you? Oh my God. Well, we hear that you need some help for this one, though.
Yes, there's water all over, Miss Idell. You can't come off the bed. Miss I, right. So, oh my God. So are you willing to go with the officers? You don't want to leave the place? But
I'm all right here because it makes sense to me because I'm doing everything one place.
Ms. Ivell Sims was determined to ride out the storm with her chicken and a dog hiding under the bed. There was water everywhere as the containers strategically placed were overflowing. The officers responding, preserving the scene at least for the time being.
The fact that we realize the situation, definitely, I will make it our priority at OTS police station to check in, weigh in on her. Whatever we can do, if we have to, relocate by force.
Thankfully, she was hustled out in time before Melissa struck and placed in the comfort and care of a relative. However, even when Sergeant Ward visited after Melissa with care packages and prayer, Miss Sims was still unsettled in her heart.
The dog that was there underneath the bed, we see the dog, you know? The dog is still there. We never see the fowl.
You see the chicken?
No, we never see the chicken this time.
What's that there?
I don't know if it's inside the house.
Okay.
Yes, but we saw the dog. The dog is still there, active. We had a difficult time in going to the back. He was barking, yeah?
I tell the grandson to tell his grandfather to come and find me, and then he can get to go back to the house and see home.
So you want to go back to the house?
What?
Carolyn Brown, CVM News.
Over 6,000 residents across Kingston and St. Andrew remain in the dark after last week's hurricane. Mayor Andrew Swaby says while restoring power within the municipality is a top priority, the KSAMC's Disaster Relief Unit has launched a massive coordinated aid drive to assist residents in 6 parishes hit hardest by the recent hurricane. More from Crystal Williams.
While speaking at the Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation KSAMC monthly council meeting on Tuesday, Kingston Mayor Andrew Swaby said more than 6,000 people are without power after the hurricane, according to reports from the Jamaica Public Service Company JPS. He says though they are facing major issues on accessing certain rural parts of St. Andrew, restoration efforts are ongoing as teams are working steadily towards full service.
The rural areas, Davis Bank, Lorden Town, Irish Town, Lawrence Tower, Stony Hill, Dallas, Red Hills, Kintyre and Brandon Hill. And I know I run the risk of leaving out a few.
These communities of Kingston and St. Andrew, mentioned by Mayor Swaby, were reported to be experiencing challenges due to Hurricane Melissa, such as loss of roofs, fallen trees, landslides, and power outages. The Kingston mayor reports that nearly 1,000 residents sought shelter across 65 designated locations from areas such as Port Royal, where evacuation orders were issued.
The homeless population was cared for, and agencies work around the clock to keep people safe. As of October 31st, all shelterees have since left the facilities. Some returned to their homes and others found comfort with relatives and friends.
He says he is grateful to shelter managers and the disaster preparedness teams for taking care of citizens during and after the passage of Hurricane Melissa. Mayor Swaby also says the images of the hardest hit northwestern and southwestern parishes are heartbreaking.
In that spirit of unity and care, the KSAMC's Disaster Relief Unit has launched a coordinated relief effort to collect supplies for distribution to senior citizens and children's homes across the 6 parishes hardest hit by Hurricane Melissa.
According to Mayor Swaby, the KSAMC pledges to support national recovery efforts in every way possible. Crystal Williams reporting for CVM News.
CVM News at 7 continues in just a moment.
Heart NSTA Trust offers more than just skills training. Come to us for prior learning assessment to get certified without the need to attend classes. Let us provide the guidance and mentorship you need to start your own company through our entrepreneurship and business development services. Access our literacy and numeracy training through the High School Diploma Equivalency Program. We are Jamaica's Human Development Agency.
My name Lionel. And after a hurricane, everybody want them things lined up and them light back quick. You understand that? But power restoration is a process. First, we check the big plants and main transmission lines. If them down, nobody can get power. Then, we restore the essential places. Hospitals, water, airport and such. Next is the major community lines. The one that power hundreds of homes one time. Last, we reach the smaller lines that serve individual streets. Rushing can cause damage or hurt someone, so we follow protocol and keep it solid.
Where it all begins. The quest to become great. Inspired by those who went before them, these 4 boys dream of playing in the ISA schoolboy football competitions.
Will you score this for Casey? Will you score? It's a shot, it's a goal!
And it's a shot, and it's a goal! And Casey has won the Manning Cup, and they will play Clarendon College in the Olivia Shield.
Welcome back. Continuing the news. Police have identified the man who reportedly jumped from a moving service vehicle on Wednesday into the Rio Cobre. He is 73-year-old Melton Smith, a farmer of a Linstead St. Catherine address. He was pronounced dead at the Spanish Town Hospital. Police say he was being transported to be charged in a matter involving the abduction and carnal abuse of a minor. The incident, which has been widely shared online, was captured by CCTV as the suspect fell in the river along the flat bridge in the Bogwalk Gorge. Sanctuary efforts to protect Portland's marine resources continue as game wardens intensify patrols within the East Portland Fish Sanctuary. During one such patrol, CVM News witnessed illegal fishing activity firsthand. Our reporter Kevin Black has the latest.
In this CVM News follow-up, we revisited the East Portland Fish Sanctuary, where we went patrolling with the wardens to substantiate claims of illegal fishing within the sanctuary.
How frequent we would patrol would determine how many incidents we come in contact with. We try to keep it as staggered and unpredictable as possible, but we try to do at least 3 patrols per day, 1 in the morning, 2 in the afternoon, or 1 during the midday and 1 in the late evening. The sanctuary's main function is to rehabilitate the fish population or make it grow, basically. So it's a nursery, so small fish breed up in here, and then over time the population will be bigger.
During our patrol with the game wardens, several men were seen illegally fishing within the sanctuary, quickly retreating as our boats approached. Game warden Kimani Burke explained the impact overfishing could have on Portland's already vulnerable marine life.
Alright, so depleting our fish stock is one of the biggest issues that we've been having. One of the main fish that they target is the parrotfish, and the parrotfish have a symbiotic relationship with our coral reefs because they keep it clean, and we all know that our coral reefs are the first or primary defense against the elements. So if you take away the parrotfish, then you're taking away the reef.
Meanwhile, the Chief Operations Officer of the Alligator Head Foundation, Michelle Donegan, addressed recent complaints from some fisherfolk who claim the sanctuary's borders are too wide.
For the sanctuary to be effective, there are certain elements that must be included. So we have to have mangroves, we have to have seagrass, and we have to have reefs. So the sanctuary boundaries were established to ensure that we had all of those ecosystems present. That aids in faster recovery, and it ensures that the benefits that should be derived from a sanctuary will be realized within a relatively reasonable time frame.
The wardens at the Alligator Head Foundation are working tirelessly to ensure that law and order is maintained within the sanctuary borders. Kevin Black reporting for CVM News.
International support is pouring into Jamaica as recovery efforts intensify following the devastation caused by Hurricane Melissa. Several global organizations have arrived on the island to assist with relief operations, including the restoration of vital communication networks in severely affected areas. Our reporter Omari Wilson has more on that story.
SRP is a disaster management company, so everything from planning to response to complete recovery. So until some of these big places get back up and running,
international support is pouring into Jamaica as recovery efforts continue following the devastation caused by Hurricane Melissa. Strategic Response Partners, a global relief organization specializing in coordinating emergency response, has brought in its Connect to Satellite Solutions team to assist in the hardest hit areas, helping to restore vital communication networks.
and our mission here is simply to assist in the recovery process after this hurricane. Really one of the most unprecedented hurricanes I've ever ridden out in the last 35 plus years. We were here at Ocean Coral Springs Hotel 2 days before, had all our teams put in place to basically push into this area into Black River and identify a location for Samaritan's Purse where they would set up their medical field office. That was the first initial response.
These teams have donated critical items including Starlink supplies and communication equipment, ensuring that emergency services and local authorities can continue their work as recovery efforts get underway.
We're here with satellite telephones and Starlinks and solar panels and any kind of batteries we can find. Right now the biggest demand, I believe, is with power. There is no power in most of this country right now. The power crews are working diligently. The internet crews are out there working diligently trying to get the internet restored and the cell phone communications.
Both Strategic Response Partners and Connect to Satellite Solutions teams say their time here in Jamaica is undetermined as they are here to support the country in its recovery efforts. Omar Wilson reports, CVM News.
Stay with us for lots more on the other side of this break.
It's time!
Welcome to High School Pitchside. We have another fascinating episode for you.
More matches, more big clashes.
Let's talk about some of the big rivalries coming up this week.
More of your favorite features.
And trust me, you won't fall asleep in this history class.
And of course, we always want to hear from you.
Hear from your alma mater's players and coaches in Team Talk.
You know we can't leave you out. So send us your messages on social media and watch us react on FanView.
And you know we love a good little debate, right, Gio? We've got you covered all season long on High School Pitchside.
High School Pitchside, your ultimate guide to all things schoolboy football, Thursdays at 8 p.m. on CVM TV. Where it all begins. The quest to become great. Inspired by those who went before them, these four boys dream of playing in the ISA schoolboy football competitions.
Will you score this for Casey? Will you score? It's a shot, it's a goal!
And it's a shot, and it's a goal! And Casey has won the Manning Cup, and they will play Clarendon College in the Olivia Shield.
Thanks so much for staying with us. In the aftermath of Hurricane Melissa, many Jamaicans are struggling to process fear, loss, and uncertainty. Mental health experts are warning that the emotional impact of the disaster is widespread and must be addressed alongside physical recovery efforts. Carla Ramdeen reports.
Psychologist Dr. Olivia Rose says she has observed clear signs of acute stress, including numbness and irritability among survivors in the aftermath of Melissa. Dr. Rose notes that while some people are displaying antisocial behavior, others are finding ways to cope and reconnect.
The social aspect of it, you would see some pro-social behaviors, even though there are evidences of antisocial behavior, but the pro-social ones look like persons organizing, trying to help, sharing of stories, just trying to lift each other, even making joke and having humor about the whole situation, and just organizing in a way that those who need the help can get it. And of course, there are some antisocial behaviors that I would have also observed, where persons will take more than they need, or there are some persons who have not yet received, and because of whatever reason, they are still collecting.
Consulting psychologist Dr. Lakim Samaj says children are among the most vulnerable and may face lasting trauma if they remain in affected areas. Dr. Samaj is urging parents to relocate their children to safer locations as soon as possible.
At the end of the 3rd week, I sent my wife and children to live with relatives elsewhere, because you can't compromise your children's education. You can't rebuild after a storm and educate children at the same time. And you talk about how you can reopen school fast, that's out of the question. After 3 weeks, I took my children totally out of the area and sent them elsewhere to friends, to relatives, and they did very well. Children are traumatized. The younger children, many of them will actually regress. Go back to bedwetting, because if you can't trust your house, if that stability, you don't have a home, the continuity, and it impacts the children significantly. So the most important thing we can do, get them out of the area. We don't have to wait on what the government does. Do you have a friend who is in an area that was not impacted? Do you have relatives elsewhere that you could send your children to for a period of time? Because it's the most impactful way of saving them the trauma. It's very hard for them to be there.
Dr. Samaj emphasizes that the first step in recovery is to focus on what can be controlled. He encourages survivors to channel their energy into positive actions and reconnect with others, describing this as an essential part of the healing process.
I speak not just as a psychologist, I speak as someone who was impacted very negatively by Hurricane Gilbert. I lost my roof. I had no water for 3 weeks. No electricity for 1 year, all right? So I've been there. But the first thing you do, you focus on what you can control. What can you do? You draw on those energies. Reconnect with others as much as you can. Because, strength can be amplified when you share ideas and you share observations. Reduce your media consumption. Social media and traditional media, because the media is so saturated with issues of trauma and destruction. You don't need no more of that. So limit your consumption of that. Accept what you feel, the anger, the fear. But guess what? Sometimes you'll have joy. So that's why you interact with other people as much as possible. And I encourage people to document, make notes, write poems, draft your own story, talk about it, because that's part of the healing process.
Dr. Rose also addressed survivor's guilt. She argues those who did not experience the worst of the hurricane might be experiencing survivor's guilt, calling it a natural response that shows empathy. But she warns it can become unhealthy if it prevents people from acting.
It's important to at least set some time aside to feel badly, but also be grateful in the same time. And it's easy to say because some people want to be on the ground immediately, and having gone there too is sometimes a part of you acting out of the guilt that you've been spared, but also it honors acts of service to help those persons who are in need. So it's something that we all have been affected.
Carla Ramdeen, CVM News.
News from overseas and more after the break.
the internationally acclaimed On Stage with Winfred Williams.
At a new time, Saturdays at 8 p.m. on CVM TV.
So much more than entertainment.
Hey everybody, I'm Yendi, and this is Odyssey with Yendi. In this space, we connect with some of your favorite people as they share their journeys. Here we have some unfiltered conversations as we deep dive into their inspirations, motivations, and experiences to inspire our own life journey.
The new KFC Dorito Singer, a combo that's finger-licking good. The time by KFC is
7:30.
Where it all begins. The quest to become great. Inspired by those who went before them, these four boys dream of playing in the ISSA schoolboy football competitions.
Will you score this for Casey? Will you score? It's a shot, it's a goal!
And it's a shot, and it's a goal! And Casey has won the Manning Cup, and they will play Clarendon College in the Olivia Shield.
Thanks so much for staying with us. As Jamaica continues to recover after Hurricane Melissa, the Jamaica Association of Principals of Secondary Schools, JAPS, is urging a phased reopening of schools. President of the association, Linvern Wright, says schools that were less impacted by Hurricane Melissa should reopen as soon as possible. He, however, notes that the situation in the western end of the island remains dire, with several schools suffering extensive damage. Akeem Oret tells us more.
With classrooms damaged and learning disrupted across several parishes, the future of many students remains uncertain. But according to the Jamaica Association of Principals for Secondary Schools, some institutions should reopen sooner than others to prevent further learning loss. Linvern Wright is the president of the association.
We believe that those who can go ahead should go ahead because we understand the kind of psychological harm it can do for children being out of school, having established a rhythm. What we really want to do is to clean up and see how best we can establish a rhythm. A number of different models have been proposed by the ministry. Some people are going to go shift, some people are going to go getting the grade 11s alone in, some people are going to go maybe getting all students in depending on what the buildings look like.
The education advocate also raised concerns about the widening gap in access to education, as students from hard-hit areas may fall behind their peers who are able to return to their classroom sooner.
My view is that we can get everybody in and give them a little touch of things, even if you want to give more to the examination students. That is something that ought to happen. But one of the things that we always are thinking about the academics, but socially many students are losing a lot because many people don't know that maybe the chief agent of socialization now in Jamaica that's most constant and most reliable is the school. Many people are not going to church anymore. Many people, families are broken. The school is still a system that is in place. It might not be doing as it ought to academically in the eyes of many people. But in terms of social stability, it's one of the things. And we ought to try to get back these children in a social space.
And as the nation works to rebuild, Wright is encouraging all stakeholders to remain hopeful and united during this challenging time.
Yes, Melissa came. We can't do anything about this natural disaster. What we can do something about is our hearts and our care and our resilience. We know people are going to be traumatized, but those of us who are strong, I'm asking you not to just be there and giving pity to people. What you really need to be doing now is to be lifting them up with your strength, your resilience. Even if you cry, still use a hand and pull them up. Still reach a hand out and pull them up. Because what people want now, all of the crying, every single thing is a symptom of what is happening to people. If we can get them to get back a lot of what they lost in terms of the physical, then some of the psychological will start coming back.
While the Ministry of Education is assessing the extent of the damage to schools island-wide, Wright says the focus must remain on restoring normalcy to the education sector as safely and quickly as possible. Akeem Oret, CVM News.
A look now at regional and international news.
We begin with news in the region.
Barbados today welcomed royalty, the King of Ashanti. His visit marks the first time the occupant of the Golden Stool will set foot in the Caribbean. CBC News Barbados reports on the occasion.
The visit of His Majesty Utumfo Osetutu II is being described as a royal homecoming, one that bridges centuries of history between Africa and the Caribbean. Chief Executive Officer of Cuba Enterprise Lady Denta was excited at the arrival.
I'm super excited that Asante Hene has arrived in Barbados. It's historic. It's 400 years since the Brits came to Ghana, came to Barbados, but now the king has arrived and it's going to be a beautiful journey.
The Asante Hene's participation adds royal significance to the three-day Cuba Barbados 2025 event, where leaders, investors, and cultural figures are gathering to strengthen Africa-Caribbean partnerships. Juliet Bino Sutherland, High Commissioner of Barbados to Ghana, says the visit and the event reaffirms that Barbados and Ghana share a deep ancestral bond that can now evolve into a powerful modern partnership.
In Trinidad and Tobago, Minister in the Office of the Prime Minister, Senator Darrell P. Alahar, has warned that the persons responsible for today's bomb threat at the Office of the Prime Minister will be found and dealt with. We hear more from TTT News.
The minister said that an investigation is currently ongoing into the matter, which not only significantly affected operations at the Office of the Prime Minister, but also resulted in traffic restrictions. Shortly after 9 o'clock on Tuesday, an immediate evacuation followed the potential threat. Relevant authorities were contacted and staff were relocated to a muster point at Nelson Mandela Park. At about 12:40 p.m., officials of the Office of the Prime Minister were given clearance and staff were able to return to the building and resume work.
And in international news, Venezuela's military is holding 2 days of nationwide drills. The move comes as tension mounts over a U.S. naval buildup in the region. Al Jazeera tells us more.
A show of force broadcast on Venezuelan TV as government media reports countrywide military exercises amid growing tension with the U.S. Venezuela's defense minister inspected air defense systems and warned Washington about any attempt to overthrow the government. The military exercises were held as President Nicolas Maduro signed into law a new national defense framework to integrate civilian and military forces.
By signing this law, all integral defense commands that bring together all public institutions of the Venezuelan state, the military and all popular power must be activated at dawn. So by signing this, the order must be activated for integral defense commands to be established, structured and put to work in order to be prepared.
Maduro says US President Donald Trump is trying to overthrow him. Trump denies that.
There are reports that you are considering strikes within Venezuela. Is that true? No. You made a decision on that?
No, it's not true. And that's despite a build-up of US naval forces in the region that Washington says is part of what it describes as its war on drugs. The US has bombed more than a dozen boats off the Venezuelan coast since September, and more recently in the Eastern Pacific. Washington says the vessels were targeted because they were transporting drugs. More than 70 people have been killed.
And that's it for regional and international news.
Stay with us for sports with Ronaldo Adams after the break.
The internationally acclaimed On Stage with Winfred Williams.
At a new time, Saturdays at 8 p.m. on CVM.